So I'm now into my fifth video in which I'm trying to create another LED letter here with a laser cut front, acrylic window and a 3D printed ABS kind of extruded body here with LED with the USB power there for the LEDs inside. So let's just go back to where we were in Fusion 360. So in my previous videos, I'd made this this more complicated serif A compared to the original sans serif S that I looked at, and I've just shown you as a physical model. And now with these dimensions in place on 2D design, I'm now trying to recreate this as a parametric model in Fusion 360 for 3D printing, and this is as far as I got, and it took me quite a while to get to this point, but the goal now is that I'm going to speed up a little bit, and we'll see this hopefully all coming together quite quickly. So where am I going to go from here? I think I'm going to try and get the external profile actually all in place. Let's see if I can do that. So let's obviously, I'll use some shortcuts now. I'm going to use the L button, L key here on the keyboard, sorry, to bring up my line tool. I'm going to click here. This wants to move horizontally across. I can see I've got this dimension line of 35 millimeters. So dial in there 35 millimeters into the length of that line, and I'm good to go. Now at this particular point, I'm not happy with the way that 35 millimeter dimension is beneath the line, because effectively it's going to be within the letter A. So can I click on that and can I drag it up? Yes, I can. I can drop it there. That's better. Okay, so just highlighting here how important it is that you've got this letter A here fully dimensioned in 2D design. And of course, if I find there's some data missing, it's not the end of the world. I can simply add in the missing data in 2D design and then of course apply it as into my parametric model in Fusion 360. Okay, now I've got this vertical line here, which is 25 millimeters out, and I've got this horizontal line. So let's try and do these. So I'm back into Fusion 360, press the L button again. What I'm going to do is just draw a line there, which I can specify as 72.5. So again, I'm looking at that dimension, and I'm going to, for speed, I'm going to stop highlighting it, yeah, but be aware here that as I'm drawing things, these dimension lines are driving everything. 72.5, and what's missing is the distance between these 2 points, which of course is 25 millimeters. So let's press now D for dimension line, and I'm going to specify the distance between that end of that first line and the start of the second line here is going to be 25, and as soon as I've defined that, interestingly, this is still not fully defined. Escape, let's click on this. I guess the problem there is that I can shift this up. Yeah, look at that, you see. I can shift that up there. So let's just undo that, and again, I probably want to make sure that this is, I don't know, what am I going to do here? Select that. Let's come to my sketch parameters here, and I'm going to make sure that they are horizontally aligned. Did that work? No. Okay, maybe I can make it so that this point here and this point shift select, or select, shift select. Can I make them coincident? Okay, well, that's, you know what, nope, it's not liking that. Okay, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it. That's not fully defined. Maybe as I work through this, add more dimensions, it will become fully defined. Let's find out. I want to try and speed up, don't I? So let's do it. I've got these vertical lines again here. So L, I'm going to have this one coming up, 17.5. And again, this dimension line is kind of getting in the way. So can I bring that into there? Let's just try and clean this up a little bit so everything's a little bit neater. Okay, new line tool, that's going to come up 17.5. And again, I'm going to get that dimension line, just take it across to the side here. It's a little bit neater again. Okay, I've got here the arcs or the circles. So again, what I think I'm going to do here is select this circle, Control C, Control V. I'm going to bring this across, and that wants to align, and it does. That aligns to that point there, which is perfect. So I'm going to confirm that. And then again, Control C, Control V. Bring that one across to here, and that isn't quite aligning, so I need to put that to 72.5, and that's now perfectly aligned. Okay, we are looking good. Now I need this line to come down and intersect. So let's see, I'm going to get a line tool here. I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to take it roughly down to here. Right click, OK, and then I'm going to select, shift select, and in my sketch palette options I'm going to make that into a tangent. Now look what happened there. It shifted that circle down. Rather than shifting the line across, it moved the circle. So I need to undo that. Let's just get rid of that sketch palette. And because this is not fully defined, it's blue, it decided to shift the circle first. Maybe it's because I drew the circle first, I don't know. So what I need to do here is make sure that this circle and this point and this point and this point are all horizontally aligned. There. No, why didn't that work? That circle and that circle and that, let's try that, are horizontally aligned. No. Okay, well this is strange. Let's just try one at a time then. It's going to be that center point, sorry, and that center point. Okay, is it this? And that center point and that center point have to be... No. That point and that point, horizontally aligned? Yes. And why isn't that fully defined? This was supposed to be a fast video, wasn't it? Let's try this. That point and that point need to be... No, that point and that point, shift, come on, need to be defined like that. Let's try and take this, let's try and move it. It moves up and down. Okay, so therefore that point and that point parallel. Can I do anything with it now? Yeah, look what's happening here. That bottom line is not fully defined. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So I need to make sure that this is fully defined. So can I take this and this? This and this, and make those. Yes. So I took that point there and made them horizontally constrained. Okay, well it is actually logical. It is, but you just got to work it through. Okay, hopefully you're trusting me on that one. Let's see if I can now bring this back. I want to select this line and this circle, and I want to make those tangents, and now it works. Yes, and now I'm going to make that disappear. Press the trim tool. I'm going to trim that line there. Hey, there we go. It's looking beautiful. Okay, magic. Right, what am I going to do at this point? I think I'm going to go back to the trim tool, and can I trim some of these lines back? Can I trim that back? Yes. Can I trim that back? Yes. Oh, I'm liking that so much. And then let's see, I've got this point here. I want to draw this line. That's what I'm going to do. Let's draw that line. Okay, line tool. I'm going to draw a line somewhere in here. Not quite sure. Oh, that's no good because it's wonky. Escape. Undo. Line. Let's try that again, shall we? Whoa. There were some funny things appearing there. Did you notice that? There were some funny details. Didn't like that. Undo it again. Got to be so careful with the Fusion 360. There we are. Now it's horizontal. I've got that line there indicating it is constrained to the horizontal. Wonderful. Escape to finish the line. Okay, dimension line. Now then, this wants to be 45 millimeters long, and this point here is 42.5. So it's going to be the distance from there to the origin. That distance there is going to be 42.5. And what I'm going to do, I think, I'm going to bring that line up. No. Stop that. I'm going to bring that line up to there. Okay. And I've also got this height being 50. Okay, so again, I'm going to go from the origin up to this line, and that is going to be 50. And that is now fully defined. It's turned black. Hooray! Now can I bring that dimension line up a little bit? Let's do that to there. Okay. Now I need to get an arc in here, a line, should I say, which is going to be a tangent. So line tool, click, and then can I Oh, look, oh, that's so cool. If I bring that down, look, if I bring it to that point, can you see it automatically detects the tangent? Oh my goodness, that is awesome. Yes! So I didn't have to do all this additional tangent work. I can just select there, bring it into the tangent. Oh, I'm liking that a lot. Let's get the trim tool T. Let's trim this back and trim and trim and trim and trim and trim. I'm liking that a lot. That looks cool. There was a few dimensional constraint errors coming in there, but I think it's working itself out. The important thing here, if you've noticed, is I've got this kind of pale yellow fill, and that's showing that I've got a fully defined profile, and that's awesome. I've got one little triangle left and I'm at 10 minutes. This is so very exciting. So maybe what I'm going to do here, let's just try and draw the whole flipping triangle. Let's do this. Let's do this. There, and close the triangle. Okay, and right click and okay. But that's not quite perfect. I still need to define some features to this. So dimension line, this dimension is going to be 32.5. Let's bring that dimension line down a little bit there. The distance between this line and the top part there is going to be 47.5, and I notice here that this needs to be defined as well. The distance from there back to the origin, that needs to be set to 67.5. okay, and I need to get this top point here, and if I look on 2D design, this top point, I don't know its X position, so I've missed a dimension line. So let's come back to 2D design. Let's come back to that horizontal dimension line, and I'm going to do a horizontal dimension from here all the way up to that point, and let's see what I get. 67.5. I don't like the fact here the dimensions of dimension lines have crossed over each other, but I think I'm going to have to just live with that. So final thing to do here, back into Fusion, press D. I want the distance from that point to the origin to be 67.5. Enter. Now interestingly, it's moved the whole thing. The whole thing has shifted there, and again it's because I've not got the position here, have I? So on here, another horizontal dimension line between this point and this point is going to be 50. So back into here, dimension line, distance from there to the origin is going to be 50. There, and now it is fully defined. You can just see if I undo that, that dimension line just shifted it in. Magic. So the fact that all my dimension lines there, all my lines and arcs have turned black, it's a fully defined drawing. Means I can't pick things up and move things around. Everything's driven by the dimensions. And if I change a dimension, if I make that 20, well, did anything change? Make that 20. Oh no, failed to resolve it. Great. Sorry, I didn't want to do that. Let's just bring these down a little bit. Let's make something else. Let's change, I don't know, let's change that one there to 50. No, failed. I know why it's failing to resolve that. It's failing to resolve it because I deleted the circles. And so now, if I'd done them as arcs, it would have probably been okay, but doing them as circles, it's not happy. Okay, let's try and change, this will work. Let's make that 70. Voila. Okay. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to stop at this point. 14 minutes. We're good. Next video, we're going to be extruding this and making it into a 3D letter. Voila. Voila.